Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Sheila Harris. Sheila and I have worked together, definitely here recently. But Sheila, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Harris, and I am a social worker here at the Mobile County Health Department. And I'm happy to be here this morning to talk with you about resiliency.
Absolutely. So resiliency is our ability to bounce back from adversity or trauma. So we're going to talk a little bit about some points that we generated. But first, I really wanted to celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're both wearing pink in honor of that. And we actually are super excited about Dress Down Day here this upcoming Thursday, where all of the Mobile County Health Department Family Health staff will be wearing pink. It's going to be called Think Pink Thursday, and it's in preparation to remind us of the upcoming walk this Saturday at Bienville Square at 8 a.m. Put on by the American Cancer Society. So very exciting time, and what a better topic than resiliency, able to bounce back through adversity.
Yes, and for everyone who can, please come out and support the breast cancer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Sheila, you ready to get started on some of
ready.
our points? So, as I just shared in the definition, adversity and trauma can sometimes take us into a really deep slump where it's very, very difficult, where it might be even difficult to function daily. So, we've talked about, a lot of that is reflecting on the fact that you need social support.
Yes.
Versus just staying in bed, covers over the head, and doing nothing and staying in that slump. So one point made, obviously, is that connection. But Sheila, you had some points as far as what holds people back from seeking help and from connecting with somebody.
A lot of times, it's this making that first step, being able to make that first appointment. Sometimes people may make 2 or 3 appointments and not make them, but the courage to actually come into that first appointment is a huge, huge step for the patient. I mean, getting to the door is a huge accomplishment, but the actual very first appointment is a relief to the patient. It's a large accomplishment, and I think that's a great step, and they should be commended for making that move to make that first step to seek treatment for whatever their trauma may be.
Yes, absolutely. Making that appointment, that behavioral health appointment or that counseling appointment. Essentially, behavioral health is counseling. It's just centered around what we do and how we behave day to day has an impact on how we feel, the choices that we make. So I also empower my patients. You're set apart for showing up, for getting here. You should commend yourself on having the strength to get here. And like you said, Sheila, afterward, they feel a release and they feel empowered that they were able to take that step. And it's just that human connection and that production of hope that can help them then take other small steps.
The next step.
Yes, absolutely. So, also remember that when you go through a very difficult time, when you're dealing with a lot of stressors and adversity, or when you say have experienced a trauma, you can experience mental health concerns, such as depression, such as PTSD, and things like that. So Sheila, you and I were talking earlier about how one person might call it trauma, but someone else may just call it, that time or a dark time.
Exactly.
So, right? You want to expand a little bit on trauma?
When it comes to trauma, everybody's trauma is not the same. My trauma may not be what your trauma is. No one's trauma is small. It can be small or large, but it doesn't have to be catastrophic to be a traumatic event. It can be something, to me, what may not be traumatic to you, it can be traumatic to me, meaning that everybody trauma has to be taken seriously, and you know, you have to look into how their trauma is affecting them. So this right here has to be, you know, a personal level. My trauma and your trauma is on personal levels.
Trauma is very unique to the individual. So two people may endure the same experience, say a wreck, and one person be traumatized and the other person not. So it really is specific to that individual. That's a great point, Sheila, and I totally agree. So another point that I made is you may need medication. You know, you may need to talk to your doctor about some of the symptoms of distress that you're having. One physician put it to me like this: it's not that we're going to mummify you or change your personality. It's pretty much just handing you a rope and helping you get back on your feet. So, again, a lot of our culture, you know, stigmatizes the idea of medication or whatever that be. Maybe your faith has, you know, that argument of, well, you know, your higher power, God can handle it, and things like that. But if you had a broken leg, would you go to the doctor? It's in a lot of the times the same thing with our mental health. It can take that medication or that professional to help you get to a better place of healing.
You mentioned culture.
Right.
And a lot of times culture does play a huge part into a person seeking treatment. A lot of cultures don't believe in it. Some people are ashamed when their family members or someone know that they are seeking mental health services. So a lot of time culture does play a huge step of people not seeking help.
Absolutely.
Because they may feel embarrassed for not coming to seek help.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. So I will really celebrate family health here because we have it in our policy to provide the PHQ-9, which is a quick depression assessment, once a year for patients here. So that is how a lot of people get to behavioral health, is they take the questionnaire, they score the score, which puts them eligible for behavioral health, and then they get to see us.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So things are changing. The healthcare systems are changing. But another thing is, oftentimes, people aren't going to seek help unless they're encouraged to seek help. So say you know someone, your brother, somebody that you feel like could really use that outlet to talk and work through some emotional things or trauma or adversity, whatever it is. Maybe they lost their job. Encourage them to do it because they're much more likely to go if they're encouraged. Another huge point with resiliency is deriving meaning and even discovery of purpose through your pain. So Sheila, you and I talked about that earlier, that, I mean, that is definitely in my own life been a huge driving force of keeping me in a good place, is deriving meaning from my pain and from various situations or traumatic experiences that have occurred. So using that even to empathize with others and help them go through what they're going through.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were definitely in agreement about that.
Yes.
One of our last point, or two last points, is remember that to pay attention on what you're filling your mind with. So really placing a focus on filling your mind with good, inspirational messages, and what, yes, social media and internet and video gaming, as we talked about last week, can have those negative influences, but there's a lot of positive out there too. There's a lot of people like us that's just, we want to make a difference. We want to spread the light. So it's a click away. YouTube, different things like that, where you just put in keywords, inspiration, motivation, you know, overcoming adversity or depression, and you will find a lot of good stuff. And then finally, here are a couple of tricks, like that I like to say, you can put in your toolbox to boost your mood and to help you in reducing stress, literally found to reset your physiology, including sleep, taking a shower, exercising, or having your feelings validated.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you were talking a little bit with me about sometimes it's the little things.
It's the little things that people take for granted that will motivate a person to make that step for change. You mentioned taking a shower. Taking a shower is a great stress reliever. Some people may take it for granted, just, oh, I'm going to take a shower. But for some, taking a shower can be a stress reliever.
Absolutely.
Just walking outside, getting some sunshine, things that we take for granted, you know, little day-to-day things that we do can be a positive influence for a person that's maybe suffering from depression, you know, isolating themselves.
Right.
Just, you know, being around people.
Yeah.
Just a conversation, a smile from someone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just don't know how that can
have
uplift
no
the
idea.
person's day?
Absolutely. So in conclusion, for one, maybe people that aren't going through a trying time, know that your smile, your support could make a tremendous impact for somebody else. And, you know, if you are going through a trying time, you know, aim for the highest, become your best self, and most of all, remember that you can be an overcomer. So thank you. So we're going to wrap up Wellness Wednesday. It has been so much fun having Sheila here.
Thank you so much.
And our directors back there that are helping us stay on course. Thank you, James. Just kidding. And Mark. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. And thank y'all so much. Hope that this was encouraging.
And hope you see you at the breast cancer walk this weekend.
That's right.